Yo, what do we got going on here? A nice big old distorted view. Huh. Boy, these live streams just keep getting better by the day with YouTube. What does that video look like? Ohika, what's happening? Do we have good sound and video? Is there video? Something's all stupid about this stream. It's all good? What about when I flip the camera? Oh, I guess it worked itself out. All right. Well, hey, everybody. This is going to be unique. This is different. I am in Douglas County, Colorado, at the Lone Tree Police Department, and I'm going to explain why as we go. Keeper, what's up? Bokamo, thank you for being in here. We should have a couple mods popping in here. Just some housekeeping. La Rata! King Charles. La Rata, the Lone Tree Police Department in Douglas County, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. It's just like 10-15 minutes south of Denver. For those of you local, you know exactly where I'm at. I'm here for a couple reasons. Ironically, I already had police interaction with Lone Tree a couple hours ago. As I was headed into this area, I have business over here on a weekly basis, sometimes twice a week in Douglas County now. I've always taken a lot of interest in Douglas County, where the city of Lone Tree and Highlands Ranch are. Highlands Ranch is unincorporated, so they get served by the Douglas County Sheriff's Department. And the current sheriff out here in Douglas County is Darren Weekly. I follow law enforcement all over the state, so I am informed because, as you know, once elected, sheriffs become politicians and they do certain things that fit their agenda. So I pay very close attention. So I was on my way out here on I-25 southbound, and I was tootling along on I-25 in the center lane and in my brand new car. And here comes this idiot woman in a minivan. I think, oh yeah, that was the supervisor. I just waved at him. I didn't catch his name. Oh, I did, but, shoot, it's in my phone. So at any rate, they're splitting. They're probably, maybe they come back to the station and wait for their calls. I don't know. But at any rate, this driver hit me, sideswiped the back of my car. The damage is not bad. The hit was hard. I thought for sure I was going to have a shit ton of damage, but what ended up happening is she just kept coming across the highway. I don't know, she merged on or was trying to get over. No turn signal. I kind of saw her coming to begin with. I slowed down. No turn signal. She just kept coming across the whole fucking highway. And her front end hit my back end, and I got off the highway, or off to the side of the road, luckily without any more accidents happening while this was all going down. For those of you that know I-25 and southbound I-25 just before the C-470 exit, you know what's going on. And she proceeds to stop in the middle of the fucking highway and roll her window down. I'm already pulled over. I just had a feeling she was gonna run. Was I wrong? Nope, I wasn't. So I recorded her. I got the plates, I got the van, I got her face as she rolled down the window. I told her to pull her fucking ass over. She's, and she just takes off. So, yeah, so I got off the highway and I ended up off of Quebec, and Lone Tree responded. And it's so ironic. I was headed to an appointment, and then I was coming over to the Lone Tree Police Department to conduct this other business that you're going to see, but this all took place. And so I will say, I am going to file a commendation for the way the two officers handled the situation. Because I'm going to tell you, I was pissed. And I was being a little saucy with the mouth. Not at them, but one of the first things he said, well, I need your driver's license. You don't need my fucking driver's license. I'm the victim. He handled it like a champ. I mean, he just was like calmly explaining, ma'am, per statute, blah, blah, blah. And I think he even actually said it. And that is our jurisdiction. But I'm like, why isn't Douglas County responding? Because I don't know, for whatever reason, I thought that was the sheriff's department's jurisdiction on that part of the highway. It's not. It ended up being Lone Tree's jurisdiction anyway. So he just explained it perfect. No emotion, no attitude, no arrogance, no nothing. And I immediately brought it back around. I'm like, okay, cool. Yes, I had to give my driver's license if I'm going to get an accident report for my insurance. So at any rate, that all went down. I missed my appointment. I had another appointment, took care of that. And so now we're here. So the mods are hopefully Bokomo. Glad your back end didn't get too damaged. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's pretty damaged. It is in probably need of total reconstruction. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I felt a jerk a little bit, but I'm fine. Who knows? You know, you go to bed and wake up with stuff the next day and you can never walk again. I swore that my whole back end of this vehicle was gone, and it wasn't. But her front end immediately hit my tire, so I'm sure my alignment is all screwed up. And, you know, etc., etc. So let's go in here and see how Lone Tree is. I have never had a single interaction with the Lone Tree Police Department. I have never been in this building or their city government, or have dealt with their city government in any way. So that's the biggest dent of it all. But all the damage is down here and in the tire. So who knows? But yeah, I'm glad I was able to drive away. And I am glad I got that video. And so I'm also going to hopefully get on some Wi-Fi in here and send them that video. But the original topic I am here for is homelessness. We are in Douglas County, Colorado. And I want you to know that in 2024, I think it was April, mid-year, might have been after the pit count, I can't quite remember, last year, Douglas County declared that they have solved homelessness. Now, here's a little bit about the demographics of Douglas County. It is a very wealthy county. There are a lot of fantastic people that live in Douglas County, and there are a lot of not so fantastic people that live in Douglas County, just like everywhere else in the nation. This county, though, is where people come to be regulated almost to their death, to be taxed out the you-know-what, and to pay allegiance to HOAs. You can't live anywhere out here without an HOA. This is all pretty much new development within the last 20, 25 years of the Denver metro area expansion. It just keeps growing. And they do not like homeless individuals. Imagine that. Now, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that they're actually heartless. They're going to tell you they have a heart team. The homeless engagement resource, blah, 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 something, yada, yada. So I think the mods are going to be putting some content links in this chat about Douglas County and Abe Layden's declaration of solving homelessness. And it started right here in Lone Tree. He said in a YouTube video that this is his home city. And one day he and his child saw a homeless encampment, and his child was mortified and said, Father, what is going on? Now I'm paraphrasing. What is going on where I live? This looks terrible. And Abe Layden, being a good elected county commissioner, said to his son, you know what, son? We're going to go to our city officials and I'm going to show you how government works when you are an agenda-driven little jerk. And we are going... Well, did he say that? Don't quote me, Abe. Don't sue me, Abe. It's parody and satire for your stupid ass. Boy, he's sure whipping around. Anyway, you can watch it all for yourself. Bokomo, I think probably... If DJ's in here, yeah, there we go. Bokomo's posting some links. So please go back or save those links because this history is exceptionally important that you understand in Douglas County. And so Douglas County has a campaign called Handouts Don't Help. Douglas County advertises their own advertising at certain intersections and in certain places in Douglas County that you should give to government-approved nonprofits that are doing real work because, quote unquote, handouts don't help. Even though it's none of your fucking business what people do with their money, they go ahead and use taxpayer money without anybody's approval to go ahead and, put these signs up and tell the taxpayers how they're going to spend their taxpayer money. They don't tell them, they force them. So here in Lone Tree, I want to understand what kind of resources are available now that we're headed into the cold season. And a lot of folks end up in Lone Tree because it is essentially another public transportation hub in the metro area. Some people are looking for help. Some people are looking to be left alone, living in their vehicles. And some government officials just like to show up and say, hey, do you need some resources so you can go somewhere else? You're going to see it in a video. If you go research these links, they literally are showing up and asking people, hey, can we give you something so you can GTFO out of here? Yeah, so Douglas County, they're rubbing me the wrong way, if you will, on their approach to homelessness, because where do you think they send these folks? Well, they of course send them into Denver. Right? Yeah. Tish, what's going on? So we're just here at this public building. This is a restricted area back here. They park behind security fencing because they're in tune with the general public. I don't know. So at any rate, let's go take care of some business in here. Oh, right away. We're right here at the police department. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. I am here because I want to, first of all, talk to someone that I can file a commendation with on some officer contact that I had earlier.
Okay.
And then I'm also hopeful to talk to, it's probably going to be somebody in the police department that can talk to me about homeless resources.
Yeah, okay. Write this down so I don't forget.
Sure. So a commendation on 2 officers from a traffic accident earlier.
And then you said resources on for homelessness?
Homelessness and specifically cold weather sheltering as we're getting ready to go into cold weather.
And then what is your name?
My first name is Regan, Regan.
And then last name?
It's okay. We'll just go with first name for
Okay,
now.
give me one moment.
Thank you. I'm trying to currently send this video from the traffic accident here. Accident, yeah, it was an accident, a hit and run. I guess I left his card in the car. Well, what did I go and do that for? No, I didn't. I got it right here. How's everybody? Tish, how you doing? Well, King Charles, just, I try to be fair, right? It's really not a commendation to say thank you for doing your job, but I think they went a little above and beyond. They really do. Hi. Chad Krause or Krause? Chad. He was the responding officer, and then his supervisor, which I'm guessing that they'll give me his name since I'm, What was his name? Did I put that in my phone or on that card? So what I'm hopeful for is that Lone Tree is going to save the day and find this driver, because what happened was she should have been pulled over immediately because she continued southbound on I-25. I was on the phone with 911. It was probably about 3 to 5 minutes before I could get pulled over and look at the video to give the license plate and the description of the van. And then we had some little powwow about the flock cameras and how there's really no immediate urgency because they'll use, flock and other types of things. And I let Officer Kraus know that, if we were doing the job that needed to be done immediately, she'd be pulled over right now. There would be police on that, but this is a city of, millions of people with hit and runs every 30 seconds here, blah, blah, blah. So we have to use flock. Now, we could go down a big philosophical debate on flock. If it wasn't being used as mass surveillance of the people, it might be a crime-fighting tool. But there is evidence and proof and information sharing with that system. So I'm just sending this apparently I need to be on Wi-Fi. It's funny, I pull in and all these cops start leaving. Must have been an onslaught of calls. So will Lone Tree investigate this? Will they find this woman who is more than likely not insured? I hope I'm wrong. Why'd you take off? Hispanic woman. I don't know. Maybe she didn't understand English when I said pull the fuck over. But I carry pretty high deductibles. And we just had to fix another vehicle that had a head-on collision with a deer. So that was another deductible. Yeah, they have Wi-Fi here, DJ, they do. Is the stream still okay? I'm sure they collect their bit of revenue over here. So those links in there about solving homelessness. So one of my questions is, how does my 501c3 get on the list of approved nonprofits that people in Douglas County can donate to? Because the way I see it is, I am far more useful to the folks of Douglas County when I can keep homeless people out of your sight and mind. So please donate to me and help me keep homeless people away from you. The Lone Tree Police Department recognizes volunteers annually with a special picnic. They're recognized by the mayor, city council, and city staff for their efforts. The certificates and awards are presented with an opportunity to thank them in person. City of Lone Tree Police Department, they have an acronym, TEACH. Truthful, encouraging, accountable, collaborative, and humility. Hi.
Okay, so what we have here in Douglas County, it's called the Heart Team.
Yeah, I'm aware, but that's not what I want to talk about. So is there somebody available to talk to me?
I'll have to see. And then the other thing for the accommodations.
No, I would like to talk to somebody. That's not what I asked for.
Okay.
I appreciate, thank you. Maybe we won't be. I don't know. I don't want an email address. I don't want a sticky note with the Heart Team on it. Well, Brandon, of course. I mean, two of them walked by here and went right upstairs and were staring at me. I mean, heaven forbid they serve the public and look good on camera. I don't know. Shame on me. You're harassing people. You're harassing government employees. You want to document your interactions? That's harassment. They saw me pull in. I sat out there for a little while and just started one by one by one. DJ, come on. No, they're here to serve the public. We'll see if they come back with that. Tish, who's going to win the internet today?
Alright, go have a seat and an officer will be out with you.
An officer will be out? Okay, great. Do we know who?
No.
No? Okay. Where's your restroom at?
If you go right around the elevator, you'll see the door
Okay.
to the right.
Thank you so much. Let's just take 5. Good old Denver Post still does put out a newspaper. No way. Denver's auditor blasts mayor on budget cuts. Front page of the Denver Post. It's election season, y'all. Denver's trying to pass like 4 tax increases right now. And just got some pictures from a sweep earlier today. Yeah, they showed up and threw away all their stuff, and no notice, no nothing. It's gonna be a really bad winter. The Denver Post, how much is it? $4.50, DJ. Where has Irish been? Well, we'll put that to rest once. He no longer wants to be a mod. In fact, he no longer wants to be involved at all. Um, Apparently, there's some kind of requirement that I'm beholden to people to do things that only they approve of. That's usually why I go through mod changes every, few years. It was a sad parting, but I guess that's the way it is. Yeah, DJ, just for that one newspaper. Welcome, oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you can donate to the nonprofit, that'd be fantastic. And again, Bokomo, can you pop those links in there about Douglas County ending homelessness and whatnot? So we're just currently waiting to see who's going to be available to come talk to me to about resources, cold weather shelter. I mean, all I'm looking for is the truth. Look, if you don't have these resources and what you do is call the heart team, that's all you gotta do is tell me that. This isn't a gotcha moment. It's a public information gathering event. It's cheaper to buy cage liners for the birds these days. Than to wait for the newspapers. Yeah, everything in print. Yeah, so the handouts don't help. That's what I'm most interested in as far as understanding how my nonprofit is going to get on that list to help Douglas County keep homeless people out of their county. And I'm gonna be honest, it's a win-win. I don't want people to come down here thinking they're going to get help, because they're not. They're gonna suffer. One would think, in an area that's wealthy and people are doing good themselves, that they would be spreading, some charity to those less fortunate. But apparently in Douglas County, that can only come through the government. So, yeah, isn't that interesting? Handouts don't help. Okay, well then help my nonprofit. So that's, I would like to know from Douglas County how they're going to partner with me to keep homeless people out of their county and cities, and specifically here in Lone Tree. And one of those links is going to be a YouTube video where a county commissioner by the name of Abe Layden is talking about this horrible thing happening in his city of Lone Tree, and how he taught his son to use the government to get rid of people that you're not going to tolerate. I mean, how to help people that are down on their luck. son, let's go to government, and I'm going to teach you how to use government to help people that one can't either help themselves, maybe struggling with mental or physical issues. Ultimately, the goal is we'll establish a team and we'll show that we've solved homelessness because we've given them a bus pass to Denver. Live in this county? No, I do not live in Douglas County. I am in Douglas County a lot. So I was just told to have a seat by the nice lady there in the police window who didn't listen to me to begin with and find somebody for me to talk to. Apparently, they don't accept in-person commendations here for their officers. Hi.
Are you here for the police department?
I am.
You want to speak about something?
I want to speak about something.
Yeah.
You don't know why you're out here? Do you know if you're even out here to talk to me? Or?
Well, that's why I'm asking you.
Well, I don't know. What are you out here doing?
Homelessness or something?
Homelessness or something?
Yeah.
That's what you were told? That's what you were told that I wanted to talk to you about?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. No, it's twofold. I'm here because I want to give a commendation
Okay.
on interaction that I had earlier with officers.
Okay.
And I want to talk to someone who's got the knowledge base about what your resources are for homelessness, specifically cold weather sheltering. So she didn't tell you any of that?
No.
No. Okay. So that's why I'm here. And my first name is Regan. And I told her that. She didn't tell you my name either.
Dispatch just assigned me to it, so I'd like to help you, but I don't know.
Well, shouldn't you know what you're doing before you come out
Well,
here?
you were going to explain to me.
Why should I have to explain myself again?
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm trying to assist you. If you want to.
You're trying to assist me, and you're not off to a very good start because you don't even know what the hell you're supposed to be doing. So do you know anything about sheltering for homelessness?
I really don't.
No. No, you don't know a damn thing. So if I was homeless and I came in here and I need
I
shelter,
could get you in contact with some resources.
Who?
The county, Douglas County.
Who?
They have a department with the HEART team.
yeah, I already know all that.
Okay.
I need shelter right now. I'm homeless and I'm cold and I need shelter. And so what you would do is tell me what? Wait here, I'll call somebody else or?
Have you been to the Douglas County website? And
Yes,
tried
I
to
have.
connect with HEART?
I have.
'Cause
I see that they have a team,
Okay.
but that doesn't talk about shelter for cold weather events. And because everything is focused in Lone Tree as far as how Douglas County has responded to homelessness, I thought this might be a good place to start, but obviously I'm wrong
Okay.
because you
So-
don't know anything.
So there's nothing I can help you with?
You're a fucking punk. What's your name?
Moss.
Moss. What's your position?
It's just, I'm a CSO.
You're a CSO. Holy shit. And this is how you act?
Ma'am, I'm trying to. give
What
you-
the fuck?
I'm
Is
trying
that
to
body
give you-
cam on?
It is.
Is that, yeah?
It is.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
You're a fucking punk.
Have a good day. man.
Fuck you. Wow. There you go. standing over there yelling at me from across the fucking foyer. Are you here to talk about something? Oh, there you go. There's your government in action. No commendation. Fuck them. I guarantee you they have zero intention of solving that traffic accident. This is the world we're in. It's the world we're in. And we wonder why they're out there violating people's civil rights. They don't even have the fucking good common sense to deal with the public in a public lobby. They don't even know how to introduce themselves. They don't know how to fucking talk. They don't know how to do anything. A CSO. He was rolling his eyes. Whatever. Well, now we know Lone Tree's position. They don't give a shit if they've got good cops or not. maybe those cops want to be good cops and solve that crime of that hit and run today. Time will tell. But so far, they get an F as an organization. I'm just not gonna tolerate it. I'm not gonna fucking tolerate it. So yeah, anyway, the responding officer, he did a good job when he came out there. I was a little saucy, I was a little heated, and he stayed even keel. He took the report. There was no urgency, to try to do anything about it or find out anything from dispatch if she'd been pulled over or whatever. They'll just rely on Flock. She'll take the plates off, and they'll never catch her. So. This is California. It might as well be. Yeah, good observation. Yes, it is. This is an extension of California. You missed the accolades being dished out. Yeah, that was earlier when I started the stream, and I talked about why I was here. I was going to do a commendation. Very simple. Look, I'm thanking you and your organization for your officers responding in a professional manner, even though I don't think that's necessarily deserving of a commendation for doing your damn job. But I am here to say thank you for that, because my expectations are underground when it comes to how police respond. And he met them at ground level, and it's a great day. It's a great frickin' day. Yeah, they're all shit. Yeah, we're not even a West Coast state, but we might as well be. Yeah. No, DJ, they don't deserve shit. I think the paycheck that they get is plenty. Standing across the foyer, instead of walking over to me, introducing himself, he's standing there with a tablet. Are you here to talk about something? Ay, ay, ay. Kokomo, isn't this sweet? It's my heart necklace and it goes with my heart shirt. This is supposed to clip down here so it stays higher, but if it stays higher, it goes under my shirt. So I clip it up there. So the heart's right here. Sterling, isn't that pretty? That was a great little find of mine. Yep, collect the check and don't look back. So at any rate, well, we saw how all that went. I am going to be taking this mission a little bit further. I wanted to see if Lone Tree had a better response to how they're actually addressing homelessness instead of just acting like that, of course. What do they do? What will they do if someone comes here? It's Colorado. It's 70 now. It could be 30 by 10 o'clock tonight. That's how the weather works here. That's how people die. That's why we have off the charts medical expenses for frostbite. That's why people are losing feet, legs, fingers, hands, half their legs. Yeah, because we don't have appropriate response to save lives. Because if you're homeless, you can go die. If you're living in your car, you can go die. I got a problem with that. Because I come from a mind of being civil and knowing that people need help. And people shouldn't be left to die out in the cold. Yeah. And this winter, it's going to be bad. Especially because Denver is going to carry the whole state. And Mike Johnston, if he doesn't get his tax increase, you're going to see a whole bunch of people dying out on the street. That's fact. And shame on Denver for allowing the entire state to shift all their homelessness into the city and county of Denver. A lot of it in Lakewood, a lot of it in Aurora. Now Aurora's shifting it back to Denver. Because it's Denver's fault. It's all Denver's fault that homelessness exists. When I was at lunch the other day, and for those of you that were hanging out and we were talking about some of that history in the camping ban and the past mayoral positions with Hickenlooper and Wellington Webb, he's another piece of shit. And now where we are with Michael Hancock, and Hickenlooper had a 10-year plan back in 2005 to solve homelessness. And the money that they were moving for that, unreal. The eviction rates are off the charts right now in this state. And in Denver especially. So there are going to be people all over the place. They're going to be out here in Douglas County. They're going to be out in Aurora. They're going to be in Lakewood. They're going to be in Golden. They're going to be in Westminster. They're going to be in Thornton. They're going to be in Colorado Springs, Pueblo. They're going to be out east on the plains here in Colorado, living in their car or an RV if they're lucky. Because they're behind the 8 ball and they can't get out. Just go get a job. Well, there's lots of people that have a job and are being evicted. It's fact. So, I guess the last ask before I tell you one more thing before I leave. It's a very important thing because it's happening in real time right now and I'm not sure where it's going to go. So, please donate to my nonprofit if you can. I need millions of dollars. Millions. I need endless amounts of $1 million donations. Please. Because there's going to be a need. So if you could please, mods, put those links in there. And the last thing I want to tell you is that I typically do not talk about my medical issues. You've heard me talk about my kidney stones. You heard me talk a little bit about my ongoing issue when I went to jail the other day in that live stream when I was telling you that I had brain surgery back in May. And I did not announce that. I did not talk about that. I do not have cancer. I do not have anything terminal. However, I do have a very serious condition that was corrected with surgery called an encephalocele. And that is the temporal lobe bone that divides your brain from your ear canal. And through all of my medical records and through almost 9 months of waiting to be diagnosed with this encephalocele, it was determined that this likely took place when I was assaulted by the piece of shit homeless individual. Yes, there are pieces of shit, violent pieces of shit that live in homelessness. There are violent pieces of shit that live in $1 million homes that have jobs right here that you just saw. Yeah, those are pieces of shit. So this individual assaulted me, and of course, this all stems back to conversations about the post I actually made today about Judge Barry Schwartz signing bogus warrants for me. Judge Barry Schwartz badmouthed me on the record because he was the judge in the criminal case of this individual violating the protection order twice, the civil protection order that I went and got. And he let him go, and he actually wished him luck, and then badmouthed me on the record. Denver police, they did a real thorough investigation, did real good victim follow-up. The charges were totally appropriate, at the municipal level for simple assault, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, this individual assaulted me very bad. We were known to each other. I was very much on to his bullshit that he had going on the streets with sex for campers and abusing women. Do you think the police department was listening to me on that? No. Nope. They waited for all that to go down. He was free. He didn't have to go in on any of that. He went in on a couple warrants, spent a night or two in jail, and literally walked away from the whole thing. Nothing. No punishment at all. None. And come to find out, the temporal bone in my head was broke. And it is a bone in your skull that won't cause you pain. It's thin. And if it's broke, and broke enough, your body will just absorb it. And that's what happened in my head. And once that bone was completely gone and not dividing my ear canal, essentially, there's also some other space in the back of your head that the bone helps keep the brain up in its cavity. My brain started to herniate through the gap of where that bone is. And so I started having some neurological issues. They were minor, but they were there. I started having some speech issues. They were minor, but they were there. I started having some memory issues. They were minor, but they were intense. And then I started having severe ear pain. And that wasn't minor. And it was very intense. And I was down for many months, many days, many hours. It was on or off. It was either there or it wasn't. And so I had to fight long and hard to figure out what the hell was going on. Healthcare, doing good. Healthcare's at top shape in the United States of America since Obamacare. Don't get me started. Government needs to get the fuck out of healthcare, okay? It took a long time to get this diagnosed. It took a lot of fighting with doctors. And it was finally arranged that I would have a procedure called an encephalocele repair, and it was a full right side craniotomy back in May. The incision started here. They did not have to shave my head, which was freaking amazing. They bring in a special surgeon that works around having to shave the head. So I had a neurosurgical team and an ENT surgical team, and I was in surgery for almost 7 hours back in May, and they told me that they planned on having me up on my feet by the next day. I said, cool, that works for me. So I'll be out of the hospital. They're like, no, you're going to go into ICU. So brain swelling is monitored. Okay, how long am I going to be in there? Hopefully no longer than a week. I said, okay, that's fine. So I go into surgery. I come out of surgery, and they don't have me in ICU. And I'm like, this is awesome. They're like, surgery went well. We're going to monitor you at this one step below ICU for the next 24 hours. And hopefully you just continue to improve. Great. Sounds good. Please just keep my pain under control. So what they ended up doing was taking part of my scalp and the muscle and the tissue, and they rebuilt the bone inside the skull. Now, there are a lot of potential side effects from the surgery, none of which have reared their ugly heads until now. So, fast forward through the hospital stay. After they OD'd me, in the hospital, I got up and left after 3 days. They really didn't have any objections because I told them, I'm not going to stay here and get through surgery and have you kill me because you're going to overdose me. So they didn't really fight me on that, and I was out of the hospital in 3 days. And I was back on camera within 10 days. And I was feeling pretty good. I was doing great. But I'm not doing so great anymore. I have a potential CSF leak, which is cerebral spinal fluid. And I have been in the ER multiple times in the past month for uncontrollable head pain. And they think that there might be some intracranial pressure building up and in the form of cerebral spinal fluid. And which needs to be evaluated. They don't want me doing the things I'm doing, but here's the deal. Life is short. And I'm not just going to sit around. I'm just not going to do it. I don't have an obvious infection. That is, of course, what they're worried about, is infection. My attorney is very aware of what's going on. We've got all these medical documents we're looking through. I have to travel to go get a specialized MRI that they made a special appointment for me for this Sunday, where they're going to have me in the MRI machine for an hour and 20 minutes with one break. And they're going to be watching the blood veins and vessels in the head to see how they're reacting, because I also have another condition that I've developed since the surgery called pulsatile tinnitus. So you know what tinnitus is, that's ringing in the ears. I have something going on where my heartbeat is beating in my head, and it's loud, and it snaps, and it's waking me up in my sleep. So they're concerned that either the blood flow is incorrect since the surgery, since the healing, and they need to make sure that they don't have to repair any veins or vessels that could potentially break and cause hemorrhaging or potential stroke. It's not considered a brain bleed because it's not the vessels or the veins in the brain. It's outside of the brain. So, two issues going on there. So, I just want to put that out there right now. On top of the kidney stones. I've always got the kidney stones, always dealing with that. Which, by the way, they picked up after the assault because one of the kidneys that had a stone lodged in it, probably for life, jolted and started to move. And that's what caused me to be hospitalized with sepsis shortly after that attack. Yes. So it's been an interesting few years. And so if I disappear, if you see me go down during this stream, try to get here yourself. Please don't send 911 from some jurisdiction that I just pissed off. So, at any rate, I'm off to my next appointment to start the process of collecting the CSF fluid so they can determine if that's exactly what it is and if there's infection building up in my brain. So, if there is, I'm probably going to be in the hospital. I just wanted to put that out there. That's all I need to really say about it. I don't like, because it's not dominating my life. I am going to go until I can't go, and I'm dead. That's how it's going to go. Life is short. I don't think I'm going to have a long life expectancy anyway. So I want to get some shit done. Please, mods, for the last thing, thank you, Bohika. Put that link in there. If you can donate that $1 million, please do it. Because if I go down, somebody else is going to need that money. Spirit in the sky. Yeah. Thank you very much. And that is exactly why he too would prefer that I just not be out here, but he understands. And I have to support him. So, but ironically, he ends up doing all the support in ways like I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing if not for him. So, yes, I want to make that very clear. So, thanks, Tish. Love you guys. And with that and that last link, thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.